And to this day, you know, I'm 24. I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm 24. I chose to have children at a certain time because of the life that I lived and the things that I went through. And even to this day, I struggle. I work hard. I work so hard for everything that I have, you know? I work so hard for everything that I have. And at the end of the day, I just be looking like I know my blessing is coming, you know? I know it's coming. It's just like, when is it coming? I've literally spent my life blessing people and being a good person to them and been stumped and trampled over. I've literally spent my life like strong, having to be strong, not being able to take no break, not being able to stop, not being able to quit, not being able to give up. And I'm grateful that I have not. But it's like, hey guys, it's your girl Chyng and this thing, and I'm back again with another video. Today I was drawn to come and tell you guys like some of my experiences growing up as a girl in Detroit. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and people have actually been requesting this video, but it's like I just had so much going on, like, and it's very touchy, you know. It's a very touchy topic for me to talk about, so I had to make sure, like, you know, it had to be called for me to do. It's been on my list for a very long time, and it's something that you gotta be called to do, you know, when it comes to you touching emotional parts of your life or just situations period about your life, you know what I'm saying? I want to say, for me, growing up here in Detroit as a young black girl, it was very tough, very tough situation. Number one being that, you know, it's just no support here. It's no support. Everybody wants to be at the top. Everybody wants to win, you know. Everybody wants to be the king, or everybody wants to be the queen, or there's no people that will settle to be second. Everybody wants what you have, and especially when it comes to the black community, everyone is for themselves. Like, that's really like what it is. And my battle my whole life has been the fact that I am not that person. I'm the person who didn't mind being in the back. I'm the person who didn't mind being second. I'm the person who didn't mind helping others. I'm the person who isn't like for themselves, you know? There are so many opportunities that I have turned down in my life because I wanted somebody else to win, you know, or I wanted to be part of someone else's success, or I wanted to be the person to be there for someone, or the person to help someone else, you know? You don't find many people like that no more. You don't find those people. Here I am. Guys, I'm 24, and okay, it's a lot of stuff about me that you guys just don't know. It's growing up, I was a young girl who was fatherless. Being fatherless is something that you don't understand how it affects you until you get older. You don't understand how not having that support of a male behind your back affects you when they get older. The rate here of black children fatherless is out the roof. There are not a lot of fathers who are there for their children, you know? And our black men, or our men here, they go around every day just not doing what they're supposed to do because they want to live their life or do this or do that. And it's like, the person who's going to suffer later is going to be that child, like, period. Like, you could very well come back around when they're 16, 17, but everything that they went through in life, the damage was done already. Like, the damage is probably permanent by then. Growing up, I was molested for a great period of my life. At a very young age, I started my period. I remember being like 8 or 9 when I first had my period, and I started developing faster. I always had like a bigger butt, or I was more round, you know, thicker than most girls my age. And yeah, like I was molested like for a long period of my life. I could do a whole nother story or whatever about that. So for a period I was molested, but I want y'all to understand, like, in my family, I felt like I was the problem child. Now this is my experience growing up in Detroit as a girl, black girl, okay? I want y'all to understand it. So when I talk, I'm speaking from my perspective. Everybody's life is not going to be like mine. There are people with a lot worse lives, and there's going to be people with lives who is a lot easier. But mine, this is my life. I just want y'all to understand, and I want to put that disclaimer in there. But I remember being the age of 3. I had an aunt who, my cousin, she used to play piano, and my aunt always had a piano at her house, and I used to go over to her house or whatever, and I remember listening to my cousin playing the piano, and the piano was one of my first loves, like genuinely one of my first loves. I remember listening to my cousin playing the piano, listening to her playing it, because she took classes and everything. And then one day I went over to the piano. I was about 3 years old, and I played a melody that I will always hear her play. At that point, I knew I was talented. I could pick up on sounds, and I could pick up on things that I saw, or I had a good muscle memory to just remember stuff that I do, you know? So at a very young age, I started just pecking on the piano, playing the piano, you know. I remember being in kindergarten, and I used to make keychains. Like, I was always like a person that did scrapbooks. My mom taught me how to crochet, so I crocheted. And yeah, I would just be having my hands at everything. I was the kid who wanted to do stuff. I was the one who wanted to get out. I was the one who wanted to see new things. And it's like, I was always adventurous, and I was always the kid just dabbing into new stuff. And I remember being in kindergarten, and I literally used to sell like 25-cent keychains to my teachers. Like, I would make up the little keychains and sell them, to the point where after I was selling keychains, I started selling like suckers. After I was selling suckers, I wound up selling like pins, like badges. I would make badges like in school. And I'm gonna try to see if I can probably reach out to some of those teachers that remember that type of stuff. But what's good, y'all? So I am at my middle school, in which I was one of the first students at the school since it was built. And yeah, at first we was a church. It was called the YMCA. So I just wanted to bring y'all up here, let y'all see what the hell I used to do, okay? Y'all, this playground is the playground I used to play at every day at school, which is pretty cool. They still got everything the same here. So yeah, y'all, this is the school right here. Super lit. It was called the YMCA. So this is where I was pretty much raised at. Shoot, I went here all the way from K through 8. For a minute, I had went to a different school called ATA for approximately a third of the school year. Yeah, for about a third of the school year. But then I wound up coming back because I love this place so much. So I just wanted y'all to see where it all started for me. This was the spot, man. K through 8, I served my purpose here at the YMCA. So yeah, y'all, let's get back into the documentary. I just had like this grind about me, and I'm gonna let you guys know that we were poor, man. I didn't feel like everything was horrible, but if now that I think about it, since I'm grown, like, I couldn't even get a 50-cent bag of popcorn every single week. And that's just the truth. Like, that's just the truth. I don't know if it was because like my mom didn't want me to have it, or I honestly just feel like we really couldn't afford it. Like, you know, like she tried to pay for the trips and stuff that we had coming up, and you know, she did the best she could. She did the best that she could for what she was dealt, like for the cards that was dealt. And it's like, even young, I was going through way more, like, you know, way more. My stepfather was like on drugs and drinking, and it was just always chaos, and it was just always chaotic, and it was just a lot going on, and that stuff like affected me mentally, you know. So my getaway would be like going to school, doing extracurricular activities. Like, I just remember like all types of situations where it would be heated arguments about the kids sometimes. I remember some about me. I remember some about, you know, drinking, the drugs, all of that stuff. Like, I remember times where the windows was busted out, and it's like everything good that we had like was taken away. It was just taken away. whether it was cars or this or that. Like, your life, you can't put your life in someone else's hands, especially if they're not making the right decisions. And I can honestly say a lot of the stuff we went through was because of the choice of like men. But this was her husband, so it's like at the same time you can't just walk away. But it was like we lost a lot of stuff dealing with it, you know, with that time. Like, that time of my life was my most rebellious time, because it's like deep inside I was hurting, like I was struggling. Like, I remember right now times where we didn't have no light, we didn't have no gas, stuff was on illegally. I remember we didn't have no water. We was filling up water jugs just to put them in the electric thing, just to turn the electric thing on and heat it up, just so we can wash up each day, you know? Like, I feel like my younger years were like the most stable, even though it was still not right. They were the most stable years of my life. I started getting older and I just was wondering, like, why is my life like this? Why do I have to live and go through so much? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I wanted to do, I was not able, but you know, kids want to do a lot, but I felt like everything I wanted to do, it was just never a peace of mind in doing those things. Like, you know, I started getting older, you know, I couldn't wait till I could work. I wound up dating an older guy, and all of this is a overview, y'all. But if y'all want extra details on certain situations, comment them down below. I started dating an older guy, so if y'all want like more details on me dating an older man, then comment that down below and I might come in and do a story time about that. But I felt like this was the first person who believed in me. Like, and I know my mom and stuff believed in me, but it's like at the end of the day, you dealing with all of this and all of that. Like, if you're dealing with a man who is consistently breaking stuff, messing up things, cheating, doing drugs, drinking, end of the day, you're not gonna be able to give all your attention to your children. So it's like dealing with him and then dealing with work. It's like I felt like, where was my time? You know, where was the time where was that bonding time that we could actually just spend? Like, we had times where as a family we did stuff, you know. The family went out to the park, we did stuff like regular families, but it's just like still in your heart as a kid. Like, I was feeling like, what about me? You know, what about me? What about me? You know, kid wants you at every game. We want your support. A child wants your support 100% of the way. Like, it's times we done pulled up to homes like where we'll be looking at a home and there'll be drug transactions happening right in front of our car. It was times that it was a lot of times, man. It was just a lot of time. I do want to say, like, for the most part, you know, I do commend my mom, because all of her children, none of us have ever been locked up in jail. None of us ever had to deal with like that life. And I would say the person that was closest to the streets, yeah, we lived in the streets and in the hood, but like I was the one that was like in these streets. Like, I was the one, and I think it was like by choice, just being rebellious, you know what I'm saying? Just being rebellious and stuff. So I started getting older to the point where I started working, and I finally was able to work. I was so happy. I'm talking about, your girl been grinding. In high school, I was the candy girl. I always could sing. Like, I just always had a voice that I didn't ask for, you know? I didn't ask for this. I automatically picked up on instruments. I started playing trumpet. I played drums. I did everything. Like, I learned how to braid at a young age. I started braiding at like 9. Like, I was a real hustler, but this older person brought that shit. Like, he brought that out of me. This was the first person that came in my life that I felt like believed in me, you know? And he had all the actions to go according to believing in somebody. And he produced my full first CD, which was 12 songs, in which I wasn't even confident in. Like, I struggled with self-esteem my whole life. I struggled with self-esteem and just accepting myself. Like, people would talk about my feet. My family talked about my feet. My family would talk about my teeth, because my teeth were all crooked. And it was just like, the Lord blessed me with braces. If y'all want a story on that, let me know. But the Lord blessed me with braces at a very reasonable cost. And that's why my teeth are straight to this day. But my whole life, people talked about me, talked about my teeth, talked about my feet, talked about how big my legs were. It was just so much insecurity instilled into me. You know what I'm saying? And it was never that person there to just be like, look, you are beautiful, no matter what, you this, you that, you know. Mom is busy working, dealing with this knucklehead guy, you know, for 10 years. It's just like, y'all, I'm a very sporadic person, okay? And like I could think about stuff in my mind, just be in a bunch of places at once. So please bear with me in this video if it seems like I'm jumping back and forth, because I probably am. Okay, so we'll get to the point where I start getting older. This dude had believed in me, produced my full first CD. I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't confident in the project I did, but I still pushed it. I remember hustling like 5,000 copies off the hip, 7 Mile in Southfield, 8 Mile in Gratiot, like off the strip, like off the hip, $5. If you had 3, I'll give it to you, you know? And I would sign the copy of my CD, and I would put it in a jewel case, and then I had like the insert inside of it. So for that time, you know, that was like in 2010, that shit was hot, you know? That shit was hot. Had the top of the line, baby.
Y'all, when I was 15 years old, I made my first CD and I hustled it right here at this gas station. I think I was making like $100 a day off a $5 CD. I used to go right over there to that church is right there, and I used to get me my little sandwich. I used to get my little Church's chicken sandwich, and then I turned around and got me a strawberry shortcake. So yeah, this is exactly where it happened. This is my CD, y'all.
That person brought that grind out of me. Like, to this day I call him OG. He brought the grind out of me, and it was never intended to be what it was. From day one, it was thorough, you know? It was just business. It was working together, it was making music, it was doing, you know what I'm saying, and grinding. And then things just changed, you know? There was a shift. But I remember getting my job at McDonald's, and immediately, y'all, I've been that person where no matter what I do, I'm talking about no matter what I do, I could be all the way in the back dancing in the formation, and people notice me. People always notice me for some reason, and I don't even want this type of attention. People pick me out from everybody else. It's like I'm a magnet, you know what I'm saying? People draw to me. So I just, you know, over time I just started accepting the fact that I'm a leader, you know? Accepting the fact that I have a purpose here. Accepting the fact that I'm meant to lead and I'm not meant to be in the back, you know? And that's kind of like what started me doing YouTube. Started YouTube when I was 15. I just had a dream, and I just wanted to help people. Like, if y'all didn't know, I had a beauty channel. I started my beauty channel doing hair and stuff on there. I just wanted to help people who didn't know how to do the stuff that I could do. You know, I'm 15. I was doing full sew-ins on myself, on clients. I was getting money, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted other people to be able to do those things. At that point, it was just like, I understood that I was different, you know? That my purpose was much greater than just living, you know? A girl came up to me the other day and told me, you taught me how to do my first sew-in. I watched your videos, you know? You taught me how to do my first sew-in. I'm like, damn, that's what's up, you know? I appreciate that, you know? So I love when people come and show me that type of love, you know? Moving forward, I started working and making money and doing stuff, and I never understood. I'm like, Lord, why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Like, people around me would just get stuff handed to them. Like, here you go, here go a car. Here you go $3,000. Here you go, you can have this. Like, you know, and I was that person who, I gotta work for everything. And still to this day, like, I work fucking hard. Like, I work hard. Like, I opened my first store when I was 19, my first hair store when I was 19. And I don't get handouts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad about that. It's just like, I see people each day who get handouts and they don't use the stuff properly. They don't use it the right way. It's like they get blessed just to waste the blessing. And then I look at my life like, what the hell? I'm the person, if you gave $10,000 to right now, I would invest it into a business. I would invest it into doing so many different things. Like, it wouldn't be blue or wasted, you know? I would give back to the community and a lot of different stuff. You know, I'm that person that if you gave a car, I would cherish that vehicle. I wouldn't be doing 100 up the street, you know? Like, I'm that person who would actually take advantage of a blessing. I'm that person who bless everybody else around me and put myself last, you know? But it's like, I watch these people who are irresponsible just get blessed. And it's like, Lord, what Like I would think, I'm just telling you, like I would think like, what the hell, man? How do these people get this? And I have to fucking scrape. I have to scrape off the ground, juggle up, like, to get anywhere, you know? My biggest battles are mental battles, you know? They're never physical. I'm a very strong physical, you know, physically strong woman, and even mentally strong, but there's still that percentage of the month, there's that percentage of time where, you know, I go through it. I go through it, man, and I have to keep pushing. Like, I started my first YouTube channel when I was 15. I'm gonna try not to get emotional. My whole life, I didn't have the greatest example of men, you know, and it's not like the greatest men were chosen for me to have an example. Like, so like that was one of my biggest struggles, like men. Understanding why my communication was bad with people, you know, sitting down, seeing why am I flawed, like what is my problem. Like, it took me a long time to even see why my communication was bad with men or other guys, why I didn't care if they came in and left my life. Like, why was it so easy for me to detach myself? Why was it so easy for me to give all of me, you know? I was used to that in and out, that in and out, that in and out. That's the first man that should have made an impact on my life in the greatest way. But he was the last man to come forth, to step up. You get what I'm saying? Step up to the plate. As my father, you would have been my example. You would have been my understanding when it comes to men, I would think. But like I said, I'm only speaking from my perspective, you know. I'm gonna say a great father, because there are some jacked up fathers out there. But even when it came to me starting my YouTube journey, my whole dream and my goal was to just help people, and everything I did in life was to help people, to help them, bring them up. I remember trying to help friends sing. I remember trying to help people learn different things, like giving my all to every freaking body else. And in that process, I realized I didn't love myself. Like, how could you just get used up and abused up? It's because you don't love yourself. It's no way that you just gonna give all of you away. Do you get what I'm saying? You willing to give everything and put yourself last and go in the back and all of that because you don't love yourself, man. You don't care about yourself the way that you should. And that was me, you know? That was me. And to this day, you know, I'm 24. I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm 24. I chose to have children at a certain time because of the life that I lived and the things that I went through. And even to this day, I struggle. I work hard. I work so hard for everything that I have, you know? I work so hard for everything that I have. And at the end of the day, I just be looking like I know my blessing is coming, you know? I know it's coming. It's just like, when is it coming? I've literally spent my life blessing people and being a good person to them and been stumped and trampled over. I've literally spent my life like strong, having to be strong, not being able to take no break, not being able to stop, not being able to quit, not being able to give up. And I'm grateful that I have not. But it's like, it's the lack of support. It's the lack of family support. It's the lack of self-love, you know? Which is why I've been working so hard. And I think just this year, I just accepted me. Like, I've overcame like my dramatic low self-esteem a while ago, years ago. But now it's like, because I married myself. If y'all want more details on that, let me know. I know people probably wonder like what this is on my finger. It had two purposes. I'll tell y'all those purposes if y'all want to know. Just comment it down below. I have that family who will literally scrape up to bail somebody out of jail instead of scrape up to help invest into one of our family businesses. And that's just what it is. Like, that's just what it is. I've always received more support from other people. Like, you know, I've always received more support from those around me or people who love me and care about me. Woo! Like I said, even to this day, man, I feel like I'm one of the most consistent people that I know. I'm one of the most hardworking people that I know. Like, even when it came to YouTube, when the ads went down, I still posted. I still posted. I still posted. And you know, it's just like, nothing that I do, the things that I do the most with my life right now are not the most profitable monetarily. The things that I put all of my time into right now are not the most profitable at this time. So it's like, you know it's gonna pay off. You know it's gonna pay off. It's just like when, like, you go through so many obstacles. I've been going through so many obstacles in my life, waiting for that moment for it to happen. And it's like, there have been times in the past where I felt like that moment was happening and something happened to jack that up. Whether it was a relationship problem with the guy or just not being strong enough to be consistent at that time, you know, to keep riding the wave or keep going, you know. So like, just growing up, I was the problem child. I talked too much. I had the badass attitude. I was that person who nobody wanted to see coming. People talked about me. I was an outcast. I was different, you know. Even to this day, people don't understand me. It's like when I speak to people, sometimes I'm speaking a different language, which is so crazy. But it just is what it is. I'm misunderstood. And at this point, I know my life is more stable now. Now that I'm older, now that I have to provide, my life is more stable. And I'm very grateful for what I do have and the things that I do see every day, the things that I do love that I'm able to do. But I'm still hungry. Like, I still want more. Like, you guys see me posting every day. I am a very active person. Like, I regularly post. There have been times where things were very, very slow, but I've never gave up. Never. Like, when I was younger, 15 going up, my biggest dream was to be a big YouTuber. Like, my outlet was YouTube. Like, even to this day, since I've been doing YouTube since I was 15, like, my camera goes everywhere with me. Like, this is me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is me. And it's just like, damn, like, the people like me who grind and who been doing this and this and that, it's just like, when is my time? Like, when is my time gonna come? You know? And I just think about that. I know it's coming, but when? You know? When is it coming? I'm a firm believer that people who are successful or become successful at something, I feel like they've grinded. You know, whether your work was put into this specifically or that task or that situation specifically, say it don't work out, you know, I still feel like it's gonna pay off somewhere else. Like, that work you put in, at the end of the day, work is work. And if you put in that grind, you put in that work, you're gonna receive what you're supposed to receive from it. One way or another. It could be from a different situation, a whole entire different situation, but you're gonna receive like what you're supposed to receive. So I'm just keeping afloat, you know. I've been through a lot of obstacles this week, just a lot of obstacles, and I kind of was feeling like, you know, a little discouraged, like, damn, you know, what the hell. But then I just had to, because I am so tired. But I had to lift my head up and realize that it's people that go through so much worse each day and deal with so much worse each day. Yeah, my life was very hard growing up here, you know. And I'm not saying, I don't know if my life would have been the same somewhere else, but growing up in Detroit, I dealt with a lot. So if y'all heard some other stuff y'all want to hear more deeply about, comment that down below. But all I know is I've been grinding. I've been doing this YouTube thing for a long time now, and I feel like my time is coming, you know. And I just want to have the extra security. Like, all I want to do is be successful. And this is how I know that I'm different, you know? I want to be successful so that I can give back. I want to be successful so that when I see people like me, you know, that had to struggle, people that's been grinding their entire life, trying to make it somewhere, but just never received that extra boost, you know, I just want to be able to make it so that I can give back to the people that are like me, people that I see grind their ass off every day, you know, every day for what they love, for what they want. And I want to be that person to be able to extend that arm to those people, you know, to help bring them to the place that they want to be or that they're trying to get to. I want to be that person to just give. Just give. That's it. I just want to give. I just want to give. That's it. I'm asking for this blessing from the Lord just to be able to give to other people, you know, to have that stability, because stability is something that I never had. Like, you know, stability is something I never had. Even being an entrepreneur, you know, it's ups and downs all the time, ups and downs all the time. To have that stability and to be able to give back to the community. That's it. That's it. To be able to invest into my children. And that's what I want it for. That's what the fuck that's what I work for each day. That's what I work for. I'm sick of seeing abandoned buildings all around Detroit. I'm sick of seeing, you know what I'm saying, people not supporting one another. At the end of the day, those people can do what they feel like they need to do. But I want to be the person who do the opposite of what they do. I want to give back. I want to support. I'll never forget where I came from. I'll never forget where I came from. But this video, I could go on for years, okay? Because there's so many other parts of my life that I did not touch. If y'all want a part 2 about what it's like growing up in Detroit, make sure y'all comment that down below and I'll touch the parts in which I didn't get to talk about in this video. If you guys want to know any more details about the situations I talked about, comment that down below as well, and I'll be sure to get that out to y'all as soon as possible. But this is how it is for me. Like, it was just cold, you know, growing up in Detroit, being a black girl with no father, a family who don't support as much as you know, as they should, or as you think they should, you know. It's just like, it's cold. That's how it was growing up for me. So I am just trying to become the product of what I know that I am, instead of the product of my life, you know. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for getting all emotional. I was not trying to get emotional, but it is a touchy topic and something drew me to talk about it, so I came to talk about it. And yeah, if y'all want more, make sure you like this video if y'all enjoyed it. Make sure y'all follow all of my social platforms. They'll be linked in the description below. My Instagram, I am Chyng, and y'all, my other YouTube channel I was talking about is I am Chyng as well. It's a beauty channel. Go follow that. Yeah, as always, y'all, I love you guys so much. It's your girl Chyng-a-ling and the thing, and I'm about to be out this bitch.